but like, don't skimp on the landscaping. Like, I've seen too many projects. Oh, I blew all my budget inside. And by the time I get outside, there's nothing left. Oh, I have great sheetrock inside. Nobody cares about the sheetrock and the studs. They want to see the finishes.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm Cody Crabb with Investor Fuel, and today we have with us Steve Griggs, founder of Steve Griggs Design out of New York. Steve has over 40 years of experience in the industry. He specializes in high-end outdoor living spaces, everything from luxury landscapes and custom pools to outdoor kitchens and rooftop retreats. Today we're going to talk about what it takes to build and scale a premium design business, especially in a market like New York. I'm really excited to hear what you have to say because I feel like you've built some really cool stuff in your time, and I would love to hear about some of it. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, Cody, looking forward to it.
So just to get started here, how did you start into how did you get into this space in the first place? Because your intro to this space kind of has me interested because it's like, it seems pretty specific that you're getting into a particular, clientele and type of job and stuff. Did that happen all at once? Was that a decision you made, or did you just kind of do it by accident?
No, it kind of just evolved over the last 40 years, right? So nobody's going to trust you with a $300,000 backyard if you're green behind the ears. You can't fake the funk, right? You have to know what you're talking about. You can't just wing it. So they have to know, like, and trust you. So you have to kind of know what you're talking about. You have to, the proof is in the pudding, right? So no, it didn't start out like that. It started with very basic. Went to college for landscaping, got my landscape architecture degree, worked for a high-end pool builder. And I saw that people would actually spend $400,000-$500,000 on a backyard. That's my first taste of that type of it, because I grew up, a regular, blue collar family. So that was eye-opening.
Yeah, you're like, I didn't even know that someone could spend that much money on it.
Yeah, and they, it's just amazing how when people have that kind of wealth, they just write a check like I'm paying my phone bill.
Like
I guess it's all relative, right? It's all relative.
Yeah, if you think of it like a percentage of their income.
Yeah,
it really changes it. Yeah, no, but that's interesting. So, I guess give me an idea of, just so I can kind of imagine something in my head. What are some of the cooler projects that you've been able to be a part of that would kind of catch someone's eye as like an interesting thing?
I mean, some of the higher end projects, you have to sign non-disclosure agreements for some of the athletes and celebrity types.
Sure.
But typically,
see, that's even just that's pretty cool that you can even say that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it took a long time to get there, but the typical projects, putting swimming pools on top of a mountain and putting in a pool up on top of a rooftop, and they just trying to be there for the client and trying to satisfy their needs. Basically, you try to, how can I help them, right?
Yeah.
So how can I help them? How are you going to use the space? Is it for family entertainment? So you kind of go through a series of questions and you try to come up with the best solution, right?
Yeah.
That's my job.
So how does it differ kind of serving this higher end clientele versus just kind of your basic, like, let's spruce things up kind of middle class. Obviously I'm assuming it's very, very different in a lot of ways, but I'm curious, like, what is it like working with the different people?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Since this is the Real Estate Investor Podcast, people, we'll get into that later, like, why landscape is important to a house, and if you're fixing and flipping, it should have been part of it since COVID, and before then everybody's living outside now, right? So it's everybody wants to be outside. I forgot the question. You had a question.
No, the question was like, what's it like?
What's it like live
what's the difference? Like, I'm
it's
curious,
very it's very different. It's very different, because people that hire me now, they're very busy. They don't want to put up with the BS. They want a fair price, and they want you to tell them straight up. Sometimes a lot of these people are not used to hearing no. They're used to being around yes people all the time. So I try to bring them that New York flair in time to tell them straight up, no, this is not possible. That's possible. And they just like to be treated fairly and honest. And they want to hire a guy that can get the job done with no headaches. That is the big, because they're busy, right?
Sure,
so they really value their time. So they're not going to micromanage you. They're not going to, check on you, because I've learned that they're very busy and that their time is way more valuable doing what they have to do for their career and their business than babysitting a bunch of subcontractors. So that's how this kind of evolved. So that's kind of like, so I would be the go-to guy to make that happen.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really true though too. Like, the main thing is just handle it and don't be too expensive. Like, if you're not taking advantage of the fact that they've got some money, like that's
no, treat everybody fair, because they're very frugal. You'd be surprised. Like, you would think, oh, they just have money, but they got money because they're frugal and they like value like anybody else, and they like good deals, and they can spot, quality. They don't mind paying for quality. So they don't mind paying a premium price as long as it's quality in the lab. They're very smart. They're very smart.
Okay, so from a real estate investor perspective, a lot of people look at stuff like landscaping and they think anything past like pretty basic, like just get some plants, get some nice things on the outside so it doesn't look bad. Like, anything past that is luxury. But I think I'm sensing that you do not agree with that. I'd love to hear your perspective on that. From an investor perspective.
I find that I see the run. We refer to it as the builder's landscape, right? So the builder's landscape will build this beautiful $2 million home, and then he puts a bunch of Home Depot shrubs in the front, right? So when you're selling real estate, I don't know, when people, before they go into the house and look at it, everybody's doing a drive-by. They're all doing a drive-by. They're checking out. It's curb appeal, right? So you want to have that lawn, jacked up with fertilizers, so it's all green, and you want to have the bushes trimmed, and you want to frame the house with some taller trees on the corners, right? That's just a curb appeal. And then in the backyard, everybody wants a baller backyard. I don't, when that backyard is like popping with a fire pit, outdoor kitchen, it doesn't even have to have a swimming pool, but it has to look like it's put together. It can't just be like a mishmash. So when I design a project, I look at the entire property and how the house fits on that land. And you basically want to feel like the house was already there, and the land just kind of like encompasses it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to feel like you just plop the house in the middle of a subdivision.
Yeah. Well, and I guess you have the freedom to do that when you've kind of got a bigger budget and you're able to kind of
No, you don't need
make
no.
some.
Nah, it's just be
It's
very
not about budget.
creative. No, like if they're digging your house and they have a bunch of extra fill from the foundation, don't get rid of it. We may want to use it to sculpt the land and create elevations. You know what I'm saying? There's all different ways to do it. It's the proper placement of the material
Huh.
is really the key. Anybody can just go out and get a bunch of plants and stick them in, but it's kind of how you organize them. There's got to be flow and symmetry. It all has to kind of like feel very like put together. It's I could try to explain this thing like if you wear a suit, if you're wearing a brand new suit and you're wearing the same old shoes, it doesn't go together, right? So everything has to
Yeah.
kind of flow. And you don't have to
Yeah.
spend a lot of money. It just has to work.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
See, now that has me interested because you're working with these high-end clients, yet you're saying it's not even about the money necessarily. It's about the mindset of how you're designing it and things like that. Talk more about that.
Absolutely. Anybody can throw a bunch of money at it, right? So it's really picking the proper material, you know, the right type of paver, the stone or whatever, coupled with the lighting and the proper plant selection. When are the flowers going to bloom? When does this bloom? How is this going to block my neighbor? You know, it all kind of ties in. It's all kind of intertwined.
Yeah. So, I mean, it sounds like that's the reason that there are people like you that know what they're talking about. But speaking as like a real estate investor, let's say someone's doing a fix and flip. They're kind of fixing up a yard in a residential neighborhood. What advice would you give them to kind of like top couple of things that you'd say that make the biggest difference? Yeah,
Fix
something like that, where they're just kind of fixing it up, you know?
I'm going to give you the down and dirty. Like, quick,
all right, let's do it.
$1,000. Let's call it $1,000.
Okay,
right?
cool.
Let's make sure that the front lawn is green. I don't care if it's green. You got to get a bag of seed. You got to get a bag of high nitrogen fertilizer. Get a spreader. Put the lawn on. Soak it good. 2 weeks before the showing, and that stuff will pop green. People love green grass. Make sure it's cut right. Get yourself some nice ornamental flowers, even from Home Depot. Make the color look great up front. Not a mishmash. You want to group things in groupings. Things look better when they're grouped. 10 of one color, 10 of another color. Don't just go, you know, green, blue, red. You know, it's very confusing for the eye. And then get yourself a couple of nice outdoor planters. Go to the Home Depot section. They sell the pots, the fiberglass pots for $29. Get yourself some hanging flower baskets, cut the hangers off of it, stick the whole thing in there so it's cascading over. I mean, all little things like that. And get some mulch, some fresh root mulch, and put it in the flower beds. People like that. Clean and neat. They like it clean and neat.
I was just gonna say, yeah, what
$1,000. You just spent it under $1,000. We just did it for under $1,000.
And that's like an afternoon of work, really. Like, I mean, it's not a whole lot of stuff you're talking about here, and it can make a huge. So, that's what I'd also like to ask you.
That's for the lower end. That's for the fix and flip guys that are out there. You know, they're doing it themselves. They bought a house and they're working and they're doing it all. You know, absolutely.
So in that case, like, what kind of difference can that make, like, financially? Like, what kind of return do you get on that investment, do you think?
I've read something that could be as high as 20%.
Wow, really?
Yeah, 20%. And then you'll sell the house quicker. Yeah, anything, about 20%.
Well, you get more. I feel like it's almost like a billboard. Like, it catches more people's eyes just because it looks particularly
and don't
nice.
use if you have like a 35-foot house, let's say, right? Like, don't buy $3 flowers that look out of scale, right? So that's to almost look like it's purposely there and it's all part of the scale. Obviously, you're not going to plant them full grown, but you want to make it look like it's, a little established. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that's a really good
lighting, landscape
lighting. Give us the lighting, because that's something I don't really know much about at all.
Super easy now. It's low voltage LED. You can YouTube it. You don't even have to be a licensed electrician. There's a transformer, plugs into an outlet, has a timer on it. You run the wires, you bury the wires. The landscape lighting looks the best. You want to make sure you have up lighting on the trees, washing the house a little bit, because people, even if it's winter, it gets dark early, they're looking at houses even at night driving by,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, and also again, well, what would catch people's attention better than like a well lit outdoor
Well lit,
section,
not
you know?
like Yankee Stadium lit, but soft lighting.
Yeah, the neighbors probably would not appreciate that.
No,
But
very soft lighting. Use like 2,700 watt, lumens. It's very like a warm light, not the white light. It's very warm.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
so far this has been awesome, because I love when we get really specific like this. Someone is going to hear this and go, oh, okay, and it's going to make a huge difference for them. So I appreciate that.
A little lighting and some nice simple landscaping goes a long way. Make sure you have water. Small irrigation system helps, because if you plant the stuff and you don't water it, it's gonna die. But I'm talking about.
I'm just hearing some ways I can make my mom really happy with her yard without too much work. So that also sounds like a good little use of time there. So okay, another question that I had for you was, let's say this is not like a fix and flip situation. Let's say kind of we're a level above that. Like we're starting from scratch. Maybe we're starting at a bigger multifamily property or something like that.
Sure.
What's the level above that? You gave us $1,000 version. Like what comes next in the kind of hierarchy of like what makes a biggest difference? Let's say like multifamily or single family. I would love to hear, like, what do you think makes the biggest difference is what I was trying to get to.
Outdoor living spaces, right? Like people love to entertain outside and they love privacy. So if it's depending how the units are set up, you definitely want to have some sort of barrier. But everybody wants to feel secure and private, right? And you can achieve that through the right plants, right? If you have a neighbor if you're trying to do a fix and flip and your house is here and the neighbor's right there, that's going to decrease the value of the home. Absolutely. You can buy 20-foot trees if you had to, right? To block out the neighbor. You can get a 6-foot high fence. You want to create, so you think about it as like creating an outdoor room, right? Like your living room, your dining room, your kitchen. I tell the story a lot to people visualize. When you go outside, you want to have the floors could be grass or a patio. The walls can be a fence. The lighting is like your lighting. You want to have like areas. You want to have like a dining area, a cooking area, and a hanging out area. So everybody, you basically just extending the outside. Fire pits, huge.
Yeah. See, all this sounds like it makes so much sense when you say it, because it's like, well, yeah, it's part of your house. Treat it like it's part of your house. Like you're going to use it. Like, no, who needs big stretches of lawn? You know what I mean? Like it's
it's just more to maintain. Like,
yeah, if you can use it for something, obviously that would be better. So this is really great so far. I really appreciate you giving us all these tips here. The outdoor rooms thing is like particularly, I'm going to remember that for sure.
Just think of it as an outdoor room, and like you want to make it very cozy. I mean, like if you're doing a fix and flip, you can just buy a regular propane fire pit, right? You don't need to run gas.
That's true. You could just get them right off the shelf.
They're like $300. I mean, this house has a fire pit. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't really know that, an outdoor kitchen you can buy relatively inexpensive. Just make them feel like it's warm.
Even if you do know that it's kind of off the shelf, I could totally imagine like my wife coming to me and saying they even have a fire pit. Like it's a
That's
feature,
what I'm saying.
And it's just not even that expensive to do that. Yeah.
No. And you can buy them for a few $100. You can get one.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say we're doing single family, right? If someone is doing a project like this, like what's the first like one or two? I mean, it sounds like a fire pit's a pretty good bet as far as like how expensive it is versus how flashy it looks. But what are the first like one or two rooms or items that you can add that are like they look the flashiest? Yeah, outside.
Outdoor kitchens are huge popular. Outdoor kitchens, nice landscape lighting is used. A nice paver patio is beautiful too. Not concrete paver patio, but it has to
Huh.
be designed. You don't want to just square it off. It has to all go with the patio, the landscaping. It's nice to have a little water feature. Even if the water feature is just like those bowls you buy and they plug it in and they girdle over water.
Yeah.
Fire and water, man. People love that.
Yeah.
It's very
true.
soothing. And
Yeah.
you want to
Well,
plant the right plants. You want to plant some
yeah.
grasses and some fragrant flowers, and you just have to. It just has to all has to be organized chaos almost, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Intentional and
Yeah, intentional. When you go outside and you see a nice space, it just feels different.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean because it's hard for me to put my finger on exactly what it is, but it's just like, yeah, I know. Yeah, it
You
feels
know what
just
it is.
very
Yeah.
careful. So because not everybody's a designer, a lot of us are going to hear like you're saying stuff like it just needs to feel right. So tell us about like what is the role of a designer like yourself in a situation like this? Do you just have a natural sense of where things should go and how the flow should work, or are there actual rules that come into play?
There's rules. There's rules. Too many to teach here, but it's really like
Sure, of course,
now
yeah.
like I think like a couple years ago, everybody would just come out with the Pinterest. The homeowner would come out and just start scrolling through the Pinterest.
Yeah.
Now they're coming out with the Pinterest and now the AI, right?
Oh, that must be extra bad because that can do stuff that is impossible.
No, it's fine but the thing about the AI is, yeah, it gives you ideas, but it can't really. It doesn't show you how to execute it, what the cost is, and what the sequences
Yeah.
is. Like that's a whole nother.
I see what you mean.
They show you a pretty picture, but it's $50,000 for a little thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to go with the designer. The designer has to know what things cost. Because anybody can just make creative pictures all day, and the traffic flow and how the walkway flows. And AI is good for like quick,
Like a mock-up or something.
yeah, like a quick mock-up. It helps a little bit. We use that as well, but it's really how the whole space fits and how the client is going to use the space. So you
Gotcha.
ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Just a couple more questions as we're winding down here. So let's say someone wants to do something like this with a property they own, or with their own property, or they want to invest and make something cooler than it used to be. Where can they find someone like you? Let's say it's not you and they aren't where you are. Where should they look for someone like you?
Uh, Google, I don't know, whatever else, referrals, Google, look at their website,
Ask around. Yeah.
see if it flows good, and look at some projects or something. But is that kind of like, I don't know, like they can find them anywhere. But you
Yeah.
really want to have a good design. Like the design is everything.
Yeah. It sounds like
Because the
that's,
design, because the design, say it's $5,000 for a big design or whatever. Maybe it could be 25,000. The design is the playbook to get you to that goal you want. And what a good design does, you can even phase it in. Because if I have $10,000 to spend, but the job's 50, I want to spend 10 this year, the rest next year. You design it in such a way that it's easy to phase in. You put the conduit under the
Yeah.
ground, so you're not doing things twice. A good design will save you triple the amount of that you spent just in mistakes.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's like
'cause,
building a house without a blueprint.
like it might turn out okay, but you might have to start over. So
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't. You don't want to do expensive mistakes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say someone's hearing all this and they're like, I want to work with Steve. This sounds awesome. How can they get in touch with you? And what kind of area do you work in?
I
So
mean,
where
I've
would they need
been
to
I've
live?
been all over the country. It doesn't really matter. We go anywhere. We can be in California,
Awesome.
where is it? Atlanta, Miami, Massachusetts. You know,
Okay.
nowadays with the remoteness, you can pretty much do everything.
I guess
but
that's true because you're doing the designs. So
yeah,
it's
but I
it's
do like to put my feet on the ground out there. I fly out there because you get a different feeling when you actually walk the site. I'm not a
Yeah.
big fan of designing. I don't know. I'm not a fan of people designing it just on Zoom because you really got to feel the space. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense because it's the same thing about people wouldn't just buy a property without looking at it. Like you know what I mean? There's something, you get so much information just from standing there.
So much. It's so worth. It's cheaper to fly there, spend 2 hours walking around, and I have it all in my head just when I get there instead of trying to figure it out on a Zoom call.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay. So in that case, so how can someone work with you if they want to? Where can
Call
they
me
find you
up.
online?
I can answer my cell phone, 914-879-5602. If you have a landscape question, whatever, I'm
That's
here.
so cool. That's so
I
old
mean,
school. I love it.
I'm old school, bro. I'm so old school. Now I'm doing the Instagram at Steve Griggs Design. You can DM me. Check out the website, stevegrigsdesign.com.
Awesome. I'm definitely just going to check it out because it sounds like you've got some really awesome stuff on there.
Yeah. We did some cool product. Very cool. I'm a little humble about it. We've done some cool stuff. Like it's a cool profession. Like if somebody says, here's my backyard, give me just go ahead.
Yeah.
Here's a number. Like, what can you do? What's possible? And that's, makes it a cool project. But for the investor fuel, like you said, most of the people are like, newbies and trying to learn the business of the real estate, but don't skimp on the landscaping. I've seen too many projects. I blew all my budget inside. And by the time I get outside, there's nothing left. Oh, I have great sheetrock inside. Nobody cares about the sheetrock and the studs. They want to see the finishes. Really, it's like the nice moldings and the trim, the details.
Like a coat of paint. It's kind of the equivalent of a coat of paint. Like one coat of paint, it costs how much, takes how much time, but it makes a massive difference when someone's looking at the place.
And the right color paint too. Like if it's properly designed, like the outside, the colors are warm and it all kind of ties together. Yeah. Big difference when that little details, when you're trying to show a house, huge difference.
Yeah, man, I'm going to keep a lot of this in mind just for when I'm kind of getting some work done on my yard here. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Steve. This has been really interesting. We really appreciate you sharing all these insights. And listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, and I know you did, go ahead and hit subscribe on the channel so you can get all of our episodes. And until then, we'll see you next week on Real Estate Pros. Thanks, everybody.
Take care, Cody. You got it.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.